Jeff the Wealth Builder, financial advisor, strategist, cash value, life insurance enthusiast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in here. Let this room build up. Got something to talk to you guys about today. How you guys doing today? How was your day? It's been raining, storming all day here in New Jersey. If you are watching us live, let us know where you are watching from, where you're watching us from, and drop your city in so we can know where you are joining us from today. So come on in here, guys. Let's get in here. Got a couple of people that we want to talk with you today. Let me get this in here today and get us going on. Everybody's doing good today. I hope so. We're going to talk about money and trauma and wealth building today. So winning strategies. Got a couple of guests on, waiting for them to come on and talk about some of the things we're using to help you to kind of build, develop, and grow and elevate your wealth. Go out and share this. Go out there and share this. Go grab a couple of your friends. Let them know what we're talking about and come back in and comment done. Go tag a couple of your people so you can have them to be a part of what we are talking about tonight. So I am Jeff, the Wealth Builder, financial strategist, advisor, cash value life insurance enthusiast. And I am so passionate about building a community that's going to help build, develop, grow, elevate your wealth, and give you the right financial information that you need so you can build indestructible wealth. And when I talk about indestructible wealth, I mean that you got money at all times in your thing at all times. You got money in your pocket, in your portfolio at all times, for all reasons that you can deploy that money and go make some more money for you. So that is what we're doing today. Got some guests that we're coming in that's going conversation tonight. We're going to get livid. We're going to share some information. We're going to have some fun. We're going to do all of those things. And I want you guys to come in and join us. Jetta! Hey, girl.
My friend. I'm well. How are you?
Man, if I was any better, I would be better. I'm so happy that you are joining us tonight. Got another guest coming on. I don't see where he is right now. But I guess he'll be coming on soon. We're talking about money. We're going to talk a little bit of trauma, overcoming trauma tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about some winning wealth building strategies. I want you to go out and tag some of your folks. Go tag them and tell them to come in and join us on this live because we're going to drop some financial nuggets that you can use to build your financial portfolio. Because when you understand what's going on with your money, you're going to know what to do. And what we're trying to do is to get you to understand what's going on with your money. I'm looking for the funnel doctor, but I can't see him to join.
Oh, he just said
So Ryan, go back out and come back in the room so I can see the request, because I see that you came in, but it's not allowing me to add you into this conversation. So go out, come back in, and then let's see if that'll work. How you doing, Dr. Jetta? What was your day like today?
Oh, it was busy. I just got off a plane and was speaking in another city.
I like about you, because you're just an action taker, a money maker. So that's what you are. That's what you do, and that's what I enjoy. Where you at, Ryan? You back? Send a request. I can't see you. I see you came in. We're waiting on another person to join here on this live tonight. One of the things I want to I saw on the web tonight, someone had posted a money strategy on what you should be doing, and I kind of wanted to highlight that a little bit because I think that a lot of people are doing these things out here that really have no rhyme or reason to their own approach to wealth building. So like, wealth building is an individual approach. It's not a cookie cutter solution that you could go do this and you're going to become instantly wealthy overnight. So it has a lot to do with your own individual strategy. It has a lot to do with your money mindset. It has a lot to do with you getting the right information. So one of the things that we want to do is to make sure you get the right information, because information changes situations. Would you agree with that, Dr. Ajetta?
I would absolutely agree. I agree, and I believe that in addition to information, we also have to audit the narratives that we're already holding, the narratives and the value towards money and towards wealth building. Because sometimes the information we have to consciously unlearn in order to actually make better decisions, right? And so those are some things that I think also get in our way, because there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of inconsistency out there about what is necessary. And I think we have to cut through that.
I know that's right, because I saw yesterday, I won't mention any names, but it was a big scam that went on yesterday about big fun thing got being sold, and a lot of people losing money. And I was just like, man, it was such a great opportunity for a lot of great things to be done, but for some rhyme or reason, it didn't get done right, and now a lot of people are going to be losing out on a lot of money that they are never going to be able to get back. It's an opportunity cost for making bad financial decisions and doing things unknowingly and unnecessarily. So one of the things I always like to say is, don't invest in things that you have no idea about, and it's important to make sure that you are in a community, that you get yourself in a community and you get yourself the right kind of financial education, so you won't have these kind of things happen to you. What's up, the funnel doctor? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good. You finally got me on here.
So nice
I'm
for
like,
you to
what's going
join
on?
us.
I ain't know how you I didn't know how you can add me. Can you hear me good?
We can hear you okay. I know you in the car. What, you in a Bentley? What you in a Rolls Royce? What you got?
No, I was Lambo today. No, I'm playing. It's actually a Lexus.
I'm hearing some feedback. I'm right. I don't know if that's you or somebody else, but it's okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, clear. So I wanted to have this kind of conversation today. I wanted to kind of little vibe. We got a nice little event coming up next week, and I wanted people to get a taste of what they're going to be in store when they come to the Cash Value Wealth Building Live Conference next week in Philly. We kicking it off, and we have an ambitious goal in the next 5 years to develop 1,000 individuals and families to help them to build and elevate their wealth using life insurance as a foundational product to help them to replace their family income, so there's money always in the family, and also to acquire assets. That's right. We're acquiring assets with our life insurance over here, and buying stocks and buying real estate and starting businesses. And that's the whole thing that I think we're missing from this whole conversation. So I want you guys to make sure that you register. Go to the website. You can click the link in my bio and go register. You can register. I'll put the website in the comments, so you can come in and come and be with us. Come be a part of history. This is the first year we're kicking this off. We're kicking it in the first city, Philadelphia. That was the first state in the country back in the day. So, and this is my part of town, so we're going to kick it off. I know, Ryan, you from Philly. And, Dr. Ajetta, we just love you. So we're just going to make you an honorary Philadelphia. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to show you how we get down in Philly next week at the Cash Value Wealth Building Summit. So I got a question, because for you, Dr. Ajetta, I think a lot of times, like, people, like I say, us Black folks, we have a whole lot of money trauma that we've been experiencing, been exposed to. A lot of us don't understand why we do the things that we do with our money. And I just wanted to make sure that we had the expert come on and just kind of share some insight on drop a little knowledge on why it's so important to address your money traumas, so you can be able to get on the right path to building wealth.
Absolutely. that's a whole word, right? And so I certainly will be talking about this in more detail um, at the conference. But what I want to make sure that we understand is that your wealth can't outgrow your scarcity mindset. It can't outgrow your fear, right? Um,
Bro, that
and
was a
I'm a
bar right
person.
there, Key. That was a
Listen.
bar right there. Can you
Was
say
that
that
was a
again?
bar?
And that's a I think that's a big piece for many of us that are coming into this conversation behind, and not behind because we're uninterested, but behind because we have been systemically, historically, and social politically isolated from the avenues of developing wealth, right? Especially for those of us that are Black and brown folks in this country.
Yes, indeed.
And so one of the major things that I had to realize as a first generation disruptor, college graduate, you name it, was that I grew up learning how to pay bills. I didn't grow up learning how to generate wealth, right? And so when you have that mindset around paying bills, you might do that to cover your four walls, but it means that we only make decisions based on today. Those are emotional decisions often, right? And so what will often happen, and I see a lot, is that we might forego the investment for the temporary boost of dopamine of buying that thing we've earned, right? Because you worked 40 hours. You worked all these long hours. And so I want the purse. I want the bag. And let me be very clear. Y'all know I love a good bag. However, I prefer to own stocks in the things that I buy as well.
Right,
And that
right.
certainly isn't the mindset that I had coming into the conversation or coming into the space where I had a little bit more money than I had month. Because I
Mm,
want to acknowledge for many of us, we are beans and rice, right? We
mm,
start off in survival mode, but we have to make intentional decisions to address the trauma that keeps us stuck there so that we
mm,
cannot advance, right? And so
mm.
that's the piece that we have to disrupt. And that I think a major part that gets indoctrinated in us is that to work really, really hard, right?
Yep,
And
yep.
so we labor for the duration of our careers. We labor until our bodies give out. We teach our kids to go in and work really, really hard. And I think that's on one hand, that's great. It gives us great work ethic, it gives us great discipline, but working hard is not the pathway to wealth.
That's
Mm.
right.
If we can't figure out how to leverage and monetize something other than our time and our physical presence, we have a really hard time generating wealth because you literally will max out on hours, right? And so the thing about wealth is requiring your money to work for you. I like to call these pajama profits. It's my favorite type of money to earn, right?
Woo!
Sleep coins. And
Oh,
Oh,
nothing
sleep
in our
corn. That's a bar.
history.
Number. Instead of dropping bars and nuggets, sleep corn.
Listen,
Shardon, the CEO, says, is this money mindset church? She said, amen.
hello, right? And that's a lot of this is about unlearning the things that we've learned that were designed to keep us safe. But safe from what?
That's
Right? Who
mm.
where did we learn those things from? Who do we learn them from?
true.
And who benefits from us being unwilling to take risk and betting on ourselves? Being willing to say, hey, I'm gonna pay me first,
Mm.
right?
Who do you?
Being willing to say, let me forego the temporary emotion of getting the new car, getting the new bag, going on the trip, and allowing the asset to pay for the ease, the luxury, the entertainment. And so that does require that we make a shift about what it means to be successful and to work hard, right? And that has to mean that we have to consider something other than labor, working hard and earning money. It has to be some of these what may feel intangible assets that we have to educate ourselves around. And so really that's the money trauma, right? That's the generational trauma. That's the ancestral trauma that we have to find ways to heal, but we have to first name it.
That's right. I love
Mm.
it. And I think that is so important because many times in our communities, we know how to make the money, but oftentimes are we taught how to keep the money,
Mm-hmm.
how to protect the money, how to grow the money so we can enjoy the money, and more importantly, pass that money on to the next generation. So I am so grateful and so thankful that you're going to be participating with us and helping us to get over this I like to call it stinking thinking that we have as it relates to our money, because I think it's so important that we start to change the narrative on how we start to position our money. You understand? And one of the things that disturbed me earlier this week, you know, I saw this video that Gucci was having a sale, right? And everybody, it was Versace, I think it was Gucci or Versace, one of the designers. They was having a sale, and it was lined up. It was pandemonium. It was mayhem. Like all of these people were stacked out front, you know, to go and buy this designer clothes, and all of these people look just like us. You know what I mean? So it was like I sat there and I paused, and I was like, man, I'm not hating on you getting the stuff, because like you said, Dr. Jetta, I like the stuff. I like that nice stuff too. You know, I'm a they call me, you know, my wife called me Bougetto, and you know, and that's okay, and I love that. But I think it's more important that we start to learn how to build the assets to go and buy the stuff that we like, because a lot of times we buy stuff without the asset, and other people are getting rich off of the money that we're making, instead of that money circulating and helping us in our communities. You know, so that's why I'm so happy that we're having this this wealth building conference, and that's why I'm so excited that we're going to start to change the narrative and getting some really solid financial foundations in, and introduce people to how to have the right money mindset to really build wealth, and really start to elevate and start to do some of the things that we know that we're capable of doing. Ryan, I got a question for you, because you're the funnel doctor. You're the marketing expert. You're the man that helped the people click, and buy. So one of the things, the question I have for you is like, how important is like marketing and strategic funnels? How can that be used to help educate people as far as helping them get better mindsets, and helping them to kind of be educated on financial health and well-being?
That's extremely important. Give me 1 second, I'm about to get off the Uber. Hello, sir. How you doing today? Good. How are you? Pretty good. Where y'all coming from?
Listen, moving and
Sorry,
shaking,
my
okay?
bad.
Shaking and baking.
Listen, we outside. You know what I'm saying? So, no, that's a great question, though. But can y'all hear me good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So, listen, marketing and ads and everything, funnels is extremely important, because that is the way that you get more revenue into your business. You know what I mean? So, I know we talk about wealth building and stuff like that, but you can't build wealth if you don't have any money to build wealth upon. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the importance of having a funnel and be able to generate cash on demand and work smarter, not harder. Because a lot of us, again, I was raised, you go, you know, you work hard, you get a job, you try to save your way, and then when you, after 40, 50 years, you retire, and then try to live off that little bit of retirement, hoping that, you know, we get past something maybe to the next generation. But us as first generation of wealth builders now, we know we got to play the game smarter. So again, with funnels and social media ads and stuff like that, it allows you to generate income at a rapid speed. So that was one of the big things for me when I really started learning funnels. And before I even started teaching funnels or doing funnels for other people, I got results for myself. So I literally have been able to like 10x my corporate job just by learning these processes and these systems. So like literally being able to wake up, you know, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars in my Stripe account or my merchant account, just by understanding funnels and how to generate money online. And it starts with, number one, of course, knowing who your avatar is, understanding what that is. Because when we first started in business, a lot of us are like, well, this can be for everyone. You know, everybody needs a funnel. Every business needs a funnel. Everybody needs to build wealth. Everybody needs therapy. But at the same time, what's going to separate you from everyone else? So what is your unique selling proposition? Why should someone buy from you? And actually understanding crystal clear who your avatar is. Because even if you're a therapist or you're, you know, life insurance company, it's not for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, if, you know, of course, everyone needs life insurance, but that doesn't mean you want to serve everyone. Everyone needs a funnel, quote unquote, but we don't work with everyone. So that's the first thing that I always say is understanding who your avatar is and then creating an irresistible offer to get in front of those people. So once you do that, and then once you have back-end systems in place and then you have the traffic coming to your funnel, that's when you can literally get to the money faster. Because honestly, it's not about how much money you make. It's how can you make it faster. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen a video from someone not too long ago. And it was like, all right, is $1 million a lot of money? Making $1 million a lot of money. Well, it depends on how fast you can make it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you make 100,000 a year over 10 years, yeah, I made $1 million. But okay, how do I make $1 million within 12 months, or in 6 months, or 3 months, and stuff like that? So when you have the right funnel in place, money loves speed. You can get to the money faster.
I'm gonna start calling you Mr. Cha-ching. You know what I'm saying? Because you be talking that money talk. I like that money talk. I'm gonna get onto some of these comments here because I think it's so important. So if you have a question, we want you to drop the mic, not drop your camera, Ryan. But that's another story. So
Can I
we
add?
want
Can
to
I
make
add
sure
to
that.
what Ryan just said? Because I think that I think we also probably need funnels for our life and our own personal money, right? And I think this piece is important because Jeff, you emphasized how quickly the money comes in, right? So how fast we earn the money, but then how quickly it goes out, right? And even if it's going out, is it how fast can we earn it, but how quickly do we lose it,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's one
Wow.
piece. But
Wow.
how much can we earn? How fast can we earn? But how much do we get to keep? I think those pieces are critical. And then if it's going out, are we spending it on things that gives us a return on investment? Because the spending itself isn't the problem. It's when we're spending on things with no ROI, right? We're spending the things on. I know that the biggest budget item I have, other than my children, because I consider them a whole budget item, right, is food. Right? Food and entertainment is my biggest budget item. But when I drill deeper into that, the bulk of my food budget line item is actually spent in community. And when I spend money in community, I actually make money. And so that is a return on investment because I'm not out here just going to dinner by myself, right? But what is the funnel for my family? I think another big thing that we have to be willing to do, and this directly relates to unpacking and unlearning some of the ways that we've generated wealth, is that as a first generation trauma and poverty disruptor, it's a disservice to my living legacy if I'm the only one that's making money in my family, right? And if I'm the only one that's understood how to keep money and build assets, and I don't then teach the next generation, I can generate the wealth, but they're going to lose it if they don't have the financial literacy to be able to keep it and manage it. And I think we do a disservice when it stops with one generation, right? And so we need to make sure that we have funnels in place so that you talk a lot, Jeff, about making sure that you can have your own bank and making sure that you put things in, a trust and protect that asset so that you can put some guardrails around how the next generation and the generation after that continues to generate wealth. And that type of thinking requires that we don't just think about our retirement. We think about, I want my great grandkids to say, my grandma was that girl,
That's
right? Because of the things that I did
talk
today
that
and
talk.
the things that I taught my kids to do, right? And I think because we're a sandwich generation, I'm taking care of my kids and my mother and my grandmother. I may not have capacity to think about the next two generations, but we literally are in a space where we don't have a choice. And it's either we stay here and just tread water or we go build a bigger boat. Right. And so I think we're in a space where we got to build a bigger boat, and we get to do that in community. We don't have to figure that out by ourselves. And I think that's the true value of people being able to come to the Cash Value Wealth Builders Conference, is you get to be in community with people that are a few spaces out from you, that know the questions that you don't yet know to ask. Right. I had no idea that I could leverage a life insurance policy that I had on myself as a CEO to buy a building. I'm cash flowing everything, right? Which means, again, the business can't outgrow my limited money mindset. It was stuck at multiple six. And when I unlocked that piece, we're an 8-figure business. That wasn't possible if I didn't get out of the way, right? And so I think there's so much there that is about building a living legacy today and putting infrastructure in place so that it sustains and outlives you.
I love that. And that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about at the Cash Value Wealth Building Summit. We're going to show an example how to keep money in the family forever. ever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think that is important that you make sure that you attend this event. It's going to be a life-changing event. You're going to meet some dope individuals. You're going to meet some amazing speakers. When I tell you some amazing speakers, I mean, just you coming in here, Dr. Ajetta talk is worth the price alone. And just to learn how to build a funnel is worth the price alone. Just to come and learn some of the real estate strategies that you can utilize or the money that you can save in taxes is just the price worth the ticket alone. I'm going to share a proprietary money formula that if you follow this formula, you will never be without money. And it's going to go down at the Cash Value Wealth Builders Summit, because my objective and the reason that I'm so passionate about what I do is I want your kids and their friends to say, I'm so happy that my mom, I'm so happy that my dad met Jeff Moore. So that's what this is all about. We're talking about legacy here, because I think legacy is so important, and information always changes situations. I'm going to jump into some of these comments right here. If you guys have any questions, put them in the chat, okay? So Shardon says she's absolutely ready to earn with ease. I love that. And Dialogue NYNE says, yeah, we always stylish and stress. We spend them with people that we never, wait a minute, spend money with people you will never spend with is also a money mindset issue. That is so true. Dr. Jett, if you could touch upon that a little bit in a minute, that will bless so many people in the audience that's listening right now who is spending money with people that will never spend money with you. I think that is something that we never talk about in our communities. And I think it's something that we should start to talk about with immediately, because we got a lot of money that's flowing through our communities that is not, as a community of people, we're not getting a return on that investment. Shardon also said, if you selling to everyone, you're selling to no one, to highlight what Ryan was talking about earlier. And Stilettos Fashion also said you do need to have a funnel in your life, because a funnel will let you see where you are going. I like that as well. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section, and so we can get your question answered, because I think it's important, because you can get one financial nugget, one money nugget can change your whole financial situation around. We're building a money ministry. Yes, we are. Building your own bank is like having your own funnel. Yes, it is. So we are touching upon all these things. I love these comments. Keep them coming, because we all get better when we share our experiences and share the information that we have. And I love what Steve Townsend said. He says, I'm down and I will be there. Word up. He got his ticket already. I'm looking forward to him being at the conference and getting all of this money knowledge and learning from all of these dope speakers that we have. Hello to Joy You Need. How you doing? Welcome in, guys. Make sure you go out and share this live to your friends. We are on a journey to build a community of 1,000 wealth builders, where we are leveraging cash value life insurance, not only for income replacement, because the income replacement is so important, but we also going to use it to leverage to build and buy assets that's going to produce some passive income. And one of the reasons why I wanted to stress life insurance as being income replacement, because too many times in the Black and brown communities, when we lose our loved ones, we go through a double death, because we got to go through the emotional ramifications that we lost a loved one. And then after we get over the emotional part, now we got to deal with the financial part, because oftentimes there is no vehicle to replace the income that loved one was bringing into the family. So a lot of people do a lot of this stop and go, win and lose kind of situations that happen in our families. And we're trying to put a stop to that by making sure that there's always money in the family, especially to be able in a position to buy other assets and buy other resources. And more importantly, give the next generation a head start. I know I said a mouthful with that. Dr. Jetta, can you do something for us? Like, could you just give like maybe one strategy that if someone is like experiencing some financial trauma, don't go deep down in them, because I want people to come to the conference where they can really tap into you and with you and learn, you know what I mean? And really be able to vibe off of what you are building, because you are such a dynamic person and speaker. And I want them to be able to feel that energy at the but I just want you to tease them a little bit, because if they miss it, then they're gonna miss everything.
Now, before she do that, you better give her like 3 hours.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because listen, and I hope I'm not speaking after her, because like I might just go home. You know what I'm saying? Like for real.
No pressure. Listen, I think one of the most valuable things that we can do is not only live well, but give our families the ability that when we leave this earth, the only thing they're responsible for is honoring our last moment. And what I mean by that is that far too often we can't talk about wealth building because we won't talk about the inevitable thing that happens. It is a guarantee that we are going to die. Whatever you believe about what happens after we die, that's
Yep,
between you and your God, right? Or
yep.
you and who uh, um, uh, ascribe to, right? But the thing that you can do for your family is to make sure in those final moments, they're only picking out your outfits and what photos and your program. And far too often, because we've not done the work around our trauma and around our grief, we won't have conversations with our families about where our assets and our documentation is.
Ooh.
We won't have conversations about what debt we have, right? So that often means we don't have enough life insurance to do anything other than bury our loved ones because we leave them with debt in a state of dire, right? And so we have to have these conversations when they are among the living, when we are thriving and not when we're in crisis. And so we cannot adequately honor and prepare the thing for and heal the things that we refuse to name. And that creates and perpetuates this intergenerational transmission of trauma. And that flows through the lack of money. It flows through folks fighting over grandma's house, right? And flows through them not being able to keep grandma's house. One of the best assets we have to generate wealth is through real estate, and we lose it because we don't adequately prepare and address the inevitable. And so have those conversations today, right? And get that particular asset out of a space where it could be against litigation, right? Now, I don't moonlight as an attorney, but I'm telling you, as a grief and trauma therapist who has sat with families in some of the most difficult situations, and these are the conversations they're now having to have, and they cannot come to the same place of agreement, right? But if that house was already in a trust, if it was already in with an estate plan, now we can just talk about how do we celebrate grandma or grandpa or whomever in their final moments without the added trauma, right? That creates the survival mechanism that forces us to make bad financial decisions, right? That forces us to become exploited by the funeral industry, right? Because all of those things were designed and built to prey on us, and we've not found a way to disconnect ourselves for that. The last thing that I think I'll say about that is that because so many of us, I think, have been struggling for so long, we have actually disconnected ourselves from deserving and desiring wealth. We have been indoctrinated that wealth is a bad thing, that wealth is exploitive. And I want you to think about where that message is coming from and who truly benefits from you thinking that it's not accessible, that it's not attainable, and that it's not your birthright. That's what I
That,
have to say. So come on and get in this
so
room,
we
right? Because your legacy is at stake.
I love how you broke that down, because I like to come at it from a different angle. I always say that when you die and we all going to lay down one day and take our last and final breath, your money is going to go somewhere. Okay, it's going to go to hospitals, it's going to go to nursing homes, it's going to go to financial institutions, it's
Yes.
going to go to the government, it's going to go to your family. You got to pick and choose where you want your money to go, because it is going to go somewhere. And that's why I think it's so important that we start to do more things to keep more money in the family as opposed to lose more money in the family. Now, Shardon asked a question earlier about how many life insurance policies that you should have. And I always say as many as you can afford, because the ways that we structure our policies, they are built and designed to earn money each and every year.
Yeah.
Okay, because one of the things that I think many people need to be made more aware of is that life insurance companies are the most profitable entities in all of America. There is no other entity makes more money than life insurance company. They are the granddaddy of all financial institutions, and that's why I say you partner with them. That's where the rich put all of their money. That's where banks store their money. That's where corporations go to get loans. So if it's good for the goose, it has to start to be good for us, the gander, too. Okay,
Absolutely.
so it's just a matter of getting in where you can fit in. And what I like to always say is to get some, get a policy, and then get some more, because
Yeah.
you cannot lose money with the right life insurance policy. It is impossible. The only way that you can lose is if you don't pay your premiums. But that's a different story. And that's why I want you to make sure you come to the conference. This is the first conference of its kind
Yes.
that's going to talk to Black and brown individuals about using life insurance as leverage. It's the
Mm-hmm.
reason why they called it life insurance. It's not for when you die. Dying is just a benefit of having a policy, but it's not the reason why you should have in the insurance. It's a wealth building thing because it's one of the only and the few products that grows for the rest of your life without you ever having to pay any taxes on and not even ever having to pay any fees. I'm just going to leave it right there because that's why you should have it in your portfolio. It should be one of the cornerstones, something that you should be having to help leverage your whole financial portfolio. And one of the things I'm going to get into is about it becoming the permission slip. But you got to be at the conference
Yes.
to learn the permission
Because
slip.
I know you're going to talk about because I see that Shardon is also a CEO, right?
Right.
Because there's different things and strategies that we need to be aware of as business owners, right? And I think that's also important. And so I know this is something that every time I talk to you, blow my mind about the way that I was running my business, but more importantly, the way that I was growing and protecting my business, right? And I think especially in this climate that it feels so volatile, where everyone's saying the business market, like the business has changed. The launches that used to work are not working. The math is also not mathing, but this overhead has not changed, right? We absolutely want to make sure that we're also looking at it from that lens as well. And I know that that's in your zone of genius. And so the way for folks to get access to the information is to the things that we don't do, that we take for granted, is that we think we have time, right? We think we have time until we don't. And what is it costing us when we do nothing to change our current circumstances? What does it cost us? There's a cost associated with not taking an action. There's a cost, but I am still paying the gap, the cost, right? Between the knowledge I needed when I went to college and the knowledge that I had and the knowledge I needed. They call student loans that had I known the things that I needed to know, the questions I needed to ask, the way that the other folks were leveraging, paying off of this, and going to college and finding funding and things of that nature, I would be in a completely different situation. It wouldn't have taken me as long to buy my house, right?
Yeah, you got that.
All of these things, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't know if we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a cost we cannot afford to continue to pay.
That's right.
It is way too high, especially for our community.
Yes, indeed. That leads into the next question that Shardon had. She said, we also need insurance on our children. And you mentioned about student loans and college and things of that way. And it says that way you can normalize a conversation about having insurance. Yes, because life insurance is one of the best ways that you can use to fund your kids going to college. And mainly because all of the money that builds into your cash value program is, in most states, does not have to go in your FAFSA form. So the colleges and the universities never see any of that money that you build up. And more importantly, it doesn't disqualify your kids from getting financial aid and from getting scholarships. A lot of times when you have money in 529 plans, and if the university see that money in that 529 plan, they say, well, you don't need the scholarship. You don't need this grant because you got the 529 plan.
You got it.
So it's just all about having having access to these kind of conversations where you can have the right kind of strategies to build, develop, and grow your wealth. One of the things I want to touch on today as well is because he recently died yesterday. A little quick story about OJ. OJ, love him or hate him, he was one of the best football players we probably have ever seen in the history of football. A great football player, but he died yesterday, right? But he was ridiculed because of the whole process that happened with the murder and all of those different things. But one of the things that many people don't know is that OJ, um, when he lost the civil suit, he lost his house. He lost all his cars. They took all of his possessions. They even took his Heisman Trophy away. Okay, and one of the things that they did not get none of his money because his money was in two places that was protected against any lawsuits. And the first place that it was protected was in his NFL pension. And the second place it was protected, which a lot of people need to get hipped on, it was life insurance. They didn't get none of the money and none of the life insurance that he had. So it's important that strategies are the key for why you need to have and come to this conference, because we're going to give you some strategies, especially if you're a business owner, that you can leverage life insurance for asset acquisition. So you can leverage it, that you can keep some key employees if you wanted to. So you can position it that it could be an asset building with you as you build your business. And also, it's going to address and talk to the real estate investor, because a lot of times real estate investing comes down to right now and getting money and getting access to money. And oftentimes they're losing a lot of money because of the loans that they're taking to acquire the money to do their real estate investing. So we're going to share some strategies on what can help you to do that, so you can take and keep a lot of the costs that you're paying in fees, and more importantly, get rid of the pressure. Because a lot of times when they get these loans, they got that pressure, Dr. They got the pressure. They got to get that property flipped in 12 months, or they got additional fees and additional penalties and additional holding costs that they have to pay. So we're going to give strategies, and we have a CPA whose specialization is in real estate investing that's going to be at the conference. So that's why I think it is so important for you to come and attend and be a part of what we are building. Okay?
Absolutely. And I want to say that one of the first things that we have to do, for folks automatically, people that are listening in to the conversation, is that we do a few things immediately. And I want you to evict these things if they're coming up for you. And the number one thing is, as we're listening to people talk about cash value life insurance, or talking about wealth building, because we have so much money related trauma, we automatically other ourselves. Oh, that's for other people. We think that it doesn't apply to us, and so we tune out, we block it out, we withdraw from the conversation. We even sabotage, right? The information. We become critics without enough information to actually be discerning. And so I always ask my clients to ask themselves and to really be intentional, right? And you're the expert in your own experience, and so you can answer this question. Am I being driven in this conversation about wealth building and about asset development and about legacy building? Am I being driven by discernment, or am I being driven by my trauma? One of those keeps you safe and the other one keeps you hidden. And so you make sure that that is not happening for you, because it is a form of self-sabotage. It is a form of self-abandonment, and it is learned behavior. The good news is that you can disrupt it, right? And so you have to be interested and curious enough to gather the information for yourself, because we're really good about what somebody else said, right? And we know when you play a game of telephone, the information that comes back to you is always diluted, right? And so that you get in the room and get the information for yourself, and then make your own decisions, right? Success and wealth building leaves clues. And many of us have not had the opportunity to have proximity to wealth to be able to understand that it truly is accessible. And so we can stop othering it and stop distancing ourselves from it, and realize that with a few key strategic things, it can be accessible and attainable and sustainable for so many of us. And that's the thing. For me, I know that I want to be able to If my grandmother outlives me, I want my grandmother to be able to stay in her house and that house to stay in our family, that the kids for generations have assets that they can leverage. What that does for my children is give them the ability to say no to things that dishonor them, that don't serve them, that exploit them. It gives them room to be curious. It gives them room to be a little bit more free, right? It gives them room to have a safe space to land while they regroup or figure it out if they need that, right? Things that we didn't have, that we have the ability to make sure is a standard moving forward. And so I think that's, again, it's what's at risk if you do not evict the beliefs that tell you you weren't deserving.
Mm.
So I look forward to seeing you all next week.
Oh, yes, we will. Next week. You just got a taste of what you're going to get 2 days of. And we bring in the heavy hitters to come in and really interrupt the way that you've been thinking and introduce you to some new ways that you can go about living life on your terms and giving you the proper money strategies that will allow you to do that. So that's what the essence of what we're doing, and to introduce you to some great speakers and help you to be in a community, in a room with some like-minded individuals, so you can be able to get some financial information that will change your situation, because information changes situations. Okay, so that's what we want you to do. Make sure you go and click and register, join this movement that we're doing and building, the Cash Value Wealth Builders Conference in Philly, April 19th and 20th. The Marriott Hotel. Whatever you need to do to get there, make sure you get there. Okay? Get there and then be a part of what we're building. Come meet Dr. Jetta, come meet Ryan, and come meet the other speakers that we're going to have that's going to help you to elevate your wealth. Any questions? You could get your questions answered at the conference as well. You bring your questions, because if we can't answer your question at the conference, I'll make a point that we get the information after the conference if we cannot answer your question at the conference. Okay, so that's important. Make sure you click in and join and buy your ticket and get your ticket now. Dr. Jetta, anything else you would like to add?
That's it. I look forward to seeing you all. Give yourself permission to be there, be fully present, and invest in your living legacy.
Bar. Invest in your living legacy. Thank you guys for being on this live tonight. I look forward to seeing you next Friday and Saturday in Philadelphia at the Cash Value Wealth Builders Live Conference. It's the first conference of its kind, particularly addressing and targeting Black and brown individuals to help them to leverage life insurance to replace income and buy assets like stocks and real estate and start your own business and digital currency, so that you can live the life that you imagine, the life that you want, and create a money system for your family forever. Thank you guys for being on this live, and I look forward to seeing you next week in Philly. Make sure you follow Dr. Jetta. Click up on the screen right here and follow her. Follow and like her content that's on her page. Make sure you follow me so you can stay in tune. Make sure you follow the Funnel Doctor, because we're all passionate about helping give you the right information on your journey to building and creating and protecting and maintaining and legacyizing your wealth. Oh, I just made up a word. Legacyizing. I don't know what you guys gonna get next week. If I'm making up words this week, you're gonna be in store for what's coming next week.
You gotta be in the room.
Gotta be in the room. That's right. Gotta just get in the room. Get in the room. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.